Hello everybody and welcome to today's video on the Nightwave reset for June 29th, 2025. Let's see what we have going on this week. So today in the objectives, as always, we have kill 500 enemies, complete 15 missions, and kill 30 Xmas. These are here every single week. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that if you miss a week of doing these, they do not come back as objectives you can do again later, unlike all of the other objectives except for the dailies. So just to point that out, please make sure that you are doing these 3 every week. Next, we have the Many Made Whole. Exchange 10 Riven Slivers for a Riven mod. And to do this, you have to visit Palladino and the Iron Wake on Earth. Now, I've actually shown this in a Nightwave reset video before, but I may end up making a separate video just to show you how you can do this, because this is a really easy objective. And then after that, we've got Terminated, destroy 3 Necromech Vault Guardians. These are found in the Isolation Vault bounties on Deimos. I recommend that you just do tier 3 because there will be 3 Vault Guardians, so you don't have to do as many. However, if you're new or returning and you haven't done this content, you do have to do each Isolation Vault in order to access the next tier, so you may end up having to do more than one. But my personal recommendation is that you just do a tier 3 bounty so you don't have to do multiple runs. And then after that, we've got complete 3 sabotage missions, and we've also got complete 3 capture missions. As always, I recommend that you do relic missions when you are doing these, if at all possible. That way you're maximizing the loot that you're getting out of these. But if not, at least make sure you're doing your void capture. That way you're gaining relics, even if you're not necessarily tracking relics. And then lastly, for dailies, we have pierce and kill 2 or more enemies in a single bow shot. To be honest, I'm not really a bow user. This would probably be difficult for me, but if you're good at using a bow, then maybe it's for you. Then we've got sell any item in your inventory for credits. You know, most of us have 10,000 Harrow chassis sitting around that we get from running relics because the enemies just drop those. They are a great source of credit income. So just search your inventory for Harrow chassis, and assuming you have more than one blueprint, just vendor those, and there's your credits. And lastly, I already did this one, so it is showing as marked off, but there's kill 150 enemies with heat damage. Now, I did this with the Ignis Wraith. You can use any heat weapon like the Atomos, the Twin Basilisk, putting heat mods on a regular weapon, or if you really want, you could just get on Ember, and that would do this objective. So that's what we have in our objectives this week. Moving on to what we have in the credit store. As always, there's the Vauban parts, the Orchid items, the Nightane extract, the Kuva, and the Nihil's Weeblet. If you haven't gotten these, they're here every single week, so there they are. And then we've got a Lens Solstice skin blueprint if you enjoy using this weapon. And I do think this is actually a pretty neat skin. Then we've got the Limbo Aristeas helmet. I don't really like this helmet, but there are worse helmets out there. We've got the Valkyr Bastet helmet, a personal favorite of mine because I love cats, if you couldn't tell by my name, and this gives her little cat ears because Bast is the Egyptian cat deity, and so that's why this helmet is named after her. So Bastet, Bast. And then we've got the Saren Thor helmet. It's an average helmet. You know, it's not terrible. We have a Wolf of Saturn 6 glyph if you haven't yet gotten this for your profile and you feel motivated to do so. We've got a Nova Flux helmet. I don't really mind the effect on top, but I don't like the Binky Pacifier mouth guarding that is prevalent on so many helmets out there. We've got a Wukong Macaque helmet. I don't really like this because it doesn't have his normal Wukong tails. There are better Wukong helmets out there. We've got a Revenant Vanya helmet. I mean, I think it's alright. Revenant has limited options anyway. There is the Hildred Assured helmet. I'm actually using this on my Hildred because it gives her some ponytails here, and I find that the shape is better than some of the other helmet shapes for her. We have a Nidus Creon helmet. It's weird, it's insectoid, it's infested, it's very Nidus. We have an Excalibur Mordred helmet. It's a very average Excalibur helmet. We've got the Ureli Fazali helmet. Now, I am using this in my normal Ureli, but now that the Prime is out, once I finally do finish getting all the parts to build the Prime, you know, the Prime obviously looks very nice. However, if, like me, you don't have the Prime, this is a good option for just the normal Ureli. Then there is the Mirage Harlequin helmet. This is a pretty nice Mirage helmet. I like this a lot. Of course, I'm personally using a Kuva skin on her, which is very fancy and paid. But if you're just looking for a nice free helmet to pick up, here it is. And then there is a Protea Mav helmet. You know, I think this is cool because it gives her this long spiky ponytail. Not necessarily crazy about the flaps on the side of the neck, but you know, it's not a bad helmet. We've got a Sight 9 Espra Core helmet. It's got a little red military beret. I don't really know much about this Warframe because I don't have it yet. But yeah, there you go. We've got a Neza Circa helmet. It's very average Neza. We've got an Octavia Cadenza helmet. Personally, not one of my favorites, but hey, if it works for you and you like it, that's great. We've got a Zephyr Tengu helmet. I don't really have any comments about this helmet. I don't like it, but I don't have any comments about it. We've got a dual Kara's Solstice skin if you enjoy playing with this weapon. We've got an Ancient for your K-Drive if you haven't yet picked this up. We have a Sevagoth Lucifuge helmet. I mean, personally I have the Prime, so I like it. But if you don't have the Prime, or if you enjoy alternate helmets, there's this helmet. There is a Dagoth Gonsian helmet. I think this is pretty alright. I like it better than the other version with the open face facing forward. Then we've got the Varuna Anukas helmet. I think this is very cool. Varuna is cool. This helmet's cool. We've got the Protea Telema helmet. This is the one that I'm currently using. Now, it doesn't have that nice ponytail like the other one, but I do actually like the shape of the overall face of this helmet. And then we've got the Equinox Solstice helmet. I mean, I don't personally like it, but there are worse helmets out there. We've got an Ember Phoenix helmet. It's very average. We've got a Trinity Aura helmet. It's there. And then for mods, we've got Metamorphic Magazine for the Gorgon. This is a pretty nice mod. So if you don't have this and you enjoy playing with this weapon, you might want to pick this up. We've got the Deadeye Aura for sniper rifle damage. I'm not too sure how much of a use you might see for this outside of Eidolon hunts, but maybe if this is your main weapon and you just really, really love using a sniper all the time, maybe this is for you. We have Enemy Radar, highlights enemies on the minimap. Squad gets plus 30 enemy radar. It's a good average mod if you have absolutely nothing else to go in that polarity slot. We have Loot Detector, minimap shows loot crates, plus 30 loot radar. This is a pretty good mod if you don't, for instance, have the same similar effect on your pet or your companion. We've got Combat Reload for the Tigris weapon. Personally, I don't use this weapon, and I'm also not sure about the viability of the headshots. But if this is a weapon you use, you may want to look into this. Then we've got Critical Mutation for the Catabolist. It does sound interesting, so you know, if you don't have this and you might want to check it out, there it is. And then we've got Eximus Advantage for the Xylock. I don't see a whole lot of use for this because it's just headshots on Eximus enemies specifically. That is very specific. Generally, I prefer more all-purpose mods. Then we've got a Grinlock Desert Camo Skin Blueprint if you enjoy playing with this weapon. We've got a Heck Desert Camo Skin because we just love Desert Camo Skin this week. There is a Saturn 6 Seed for your capture if you don't yet have it. There is a Glassmaker Ornament. There is a Nightwave Emblem if you don't have this collected yet. There is a Hero of Duviri display if you would like to put this somewhere in your base of operations. There is a Dark Dagger Blueprint if you have not yet collected this weapon for mastery points or maybe you just want to use it. There is a Troll Stumper Floof, an adorable little fellow, not quite as good as the Pauper, but you know, he's still doing his best. There is a Falcor Shock Camo skin, if you enjoy playing with this weapon. There is a Plink's Shock Camo skin, if you enjoy this weapon. And then we've got Singularity for Nyx. It creates a ring that drags in enemies. This is good for grouping enemies, maybe make it easier for other teammates if you're playing in a party. We've got Recharge Barrier for Volt. Allies that pass through the barrier get 35% shields restored. It's a nice survival mod. We've got Prism Guard for Mirage. This is a really good mod. It changes her skill number 4, where instead of just floating off into space in a random direction, it now follows you and acts as a laser turret. We've got Focused Acceleration for the Tetra, projectile speed if you enjoy that weapon. And then lastly, we've got Saturn 6 shoulder plates. If you missed this season that all of this set was released, you can now get it for Nightwave credits. That's everything for this week's Nightwave Reset video. I hope this information helped you. Keep an eye out, I will be doing that video on how to get to Paladino and to complete that one objective that I did mention earlier. If I don't get that out tonight, I will definitely have it out sometime tomorrow. So thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.